Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here, and I'm flying the I-153 in historical battles. Now, what you'll notice first off is how quickly the I-153 popped off the airfield right there at the beginning. And a lot of people have been commenting about how the I-153, they see this biplane and they see how quickly it can rise. And in fact, I'm able to climb at a 30-degree angle and build up speed. Now, it doesn't look like I was able to do that now, but I didn't build up enough speed. But in the past, I kind of tested it out. But a lot of people were questioning, should a biplane be able to climb that quickly? Because you'll see in historical battles oftentimes 153s up 5,000 to 7,000 meters off the ground, but the I-153 is actually based off the I-15 aircraft design, and then there was some they added a retractable undercarriage and a stronger structure. And they even gave the I-153 back the little gull wings that you can see right there, which actually gives this aircraft its nickname, the Chaika, which means Seagull. So basically, with those added improvements, by having the retractable undercarriage, the stronger structure, and then adding a twin supercharged engine to it, this one is the I-153 M62, so that means it has a M62 engine, which is 9-cylinder radial engine, which has, I believe, is capable of 1,000 horsepower. But so the I-15 had a lot of climbing records. So with the I-153, you add a more powerful engine, and then the structure is more durable to higher speeds. It actually is historically accurate. So a lot of people claim that it's a UFO. My only consideration is maybe in higher altitudes. I'm not entirely sure if it may maneuver historically accurate, but I haven't done any testing on it yet. But a lot of people think it's a little overpowered or whatever, but it is tier 1 and it has one distinct weakness, which we will get to see in this gameplay. But I just kind of want to talk a little about the I-15s and the I-153s, kind of how they're used, how they're supposed to be used, not necessarily how I use it in this game, because this was my first time playing around with it in historical battle. So right now I'm kind of surveying the scene, trying to find those dots, get a guesstimate, and kind of watch them a bit, see where they're going. And I would prefer to drop on their 6 as opposed to go head to head, because as we are a biplane, we are a turn fighter. We can turn like no one else. I think that it may be one of the better one of the best turners in the game. I don't think it has the #1 spot though. But yeah, so I think it's actually relatively historically accurate. Now what we have to be aware is Gaijin is going for historical accuracy. So some nations in certain planes will just far exceed the capabilities of other comparable tiered aircraft. And I think that's kind of where you really can balance aircraft when you're going for historical accuracy, is what tier you want to put them in. But anyway, you can see me dropping in on P-36. So with this aircraft, I'm firing 7.62s. So that means on lighter targets, especially given my rate of fire, and the fact that I'm firing armor-piercing incendiary tracers, APIT rounds. That means I should, if I get enough hits, should be able to destroy someone that quickly. However, against heavier targets, I'll be a lot less effective. And if I were to go on this A-20G that's coming up on the left, as an example, I would not want to get behind it because that gunner can shred me easily. I'm a biplane. I'm very vulnerable. So I think this aircraft should be used predominantly. I mean, obviously, it's a turn fighter. Don't go head to head with anything strong. You get hit a few times, you're done. And go for, you know, the weaker targets. Here, this TBF, I'd want to approach it perpendicularly and not behind it. And once I do fall behind it, I kind of, you know, test my luck. I tend to make bad decisions. And that was one of them. If that would have hit me, you know. But don't jump on a gunner, like an aircraft with a gunner on their 6 o'clock or anywhere in their field of view. So here, kind of approaching, missing, and then pulling away, realizing, hey, it's not smart for me to get shot by a gunner because I am weak. But so currently there are 4 I-15s in the game. You got the I-15WR, the I-15 M22, the I-15R, and now, as of 1.31, the I-15 BIS. There's actually, according to the tech tree that Gaijin has, like their projected release tree, there's going to be another I-15. And then when you consider the I-153s as basically upgraded I-15s, we have a couple more. We currently have 3 in the game. You have this one, the I-153 M62, and that refers to its engine upgrade. You also have the I-153 M62, which is Zhukovsky's, and that's the level 1 premium Russian aircraft. And then you have the I-153P, which is also premium, and that has 20mm cannons, 2 20mm cannons. But there's actually, according to the release tree, they have another one that they're gonna launch, and that is the M25, which is actually not as good as this one here, the I-153 M62. So you may see this jump up to tier 2. You know, it's possible. And then the M6, and then the the M25 going down. But yeah, you got to be careful the targets you go after with something this weak. It has its weaknesses. It can turn like no other. A lot of ammunition, decent firepower against weaker targets. But you get hit with anything like this, you're dead. So I got owned right there. But I kind of asked for it by charging AAA. You don't want to do that in historical battles. But yeah, expect a lot more. I'd like to see a Spanish Civil War playable option where biplanes and early era aircraft are pitted up against each other. But you know what? We could talk about that in another video. But I'm Baron, and that's my thoughts on the I-15 and I-153. So thanks for watching.
Hello, how are we doing? Now, with what Intact said, we are going to be covering the Beef Wellington. Now, as in the War Thunder Wellington, the Beef Wellington is very thick and juicy. So as we proceed, Baron, tell us about the Duxelles.
Well, it's actually pronounced Duxelles, but it's generally a finely chopped or minced mixture of mushrooms, the stems of the mushrooms, and then you got your onions or your shallots and your herbs that you sauteed. And my accent is getting progressively worse. However, for this recipe,